guess very easily, excuse my French. You don't want to mess with him. Captain Levi, Matthew Larson!
Yeah!
Just to clarify, the character can. I'm a total wuss.
Yes, Captain Levi can. And last, but certainly not least, this lady, you guys, let me tell you something about her. She scares the crap out of me. Not the actress, the character. But Mikasa. Anybody know Mikasa? Yeah! Not enough love. Do y'all know Mikasa? Yeah! She is by far one of the strongest anime characters that I know, and she is played by the lovely Trinity Shamar! So pretty much, I think we can easily say that we were all very excited when we were cast in the show. And we had heard how big it was, and we all, I think most of us have seen the show. Trina, I know that you were careful about it when you were recording it, right? But have you seen the show?
I have seen everything that we've recorded so far.
Okay, yes. I wanted to point that out, you guys. Most of us have not seen anything past the show. I know Josh knows a few things, just a little bit.
They've mostly been spoiled for me.
So let's try and avoid spoilers that take place in the manga, because some of us won't know about it. So pretty much, all of us can agree that excuse me, I was about to say a very bad word. We love this show. We're very enthusiastic about this show. All right, so we want to open it up to Q&A. You guys okay with that? Yeah! So ask us some Q's, we'll provide some A's. And again, try and avoid spoilers because we want to find out on our own personally. So unless, if Matt wants to find out a spoiler, then you can tell him after.
No, don't tell me because I will actually find you and hurt you very badly.
So either way, I think we should get started. Who has a question?
Okay. Have you guys seen the Attack on Titan Abridged series?
The question was that The question was that we've seen the Attack on Titan Abridged. And yeah.
I have not.
Really?
Yeah.
I know. Apparently I'm missing out.
The second half of the panel, we'll just all sit. Second half of the panel, we'll just sit and watch it.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
Exactly.
There's some really good stuff.
Is that by Team 4-Star?
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
They're good guys, so I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
So to answer your question, some of us, yes.
I really love it. I think it's like the coolest thing ever. It's really difficult to explain anime to my mother. Like, she's a very supportive woman and really, really lovely and amazing and wonderful and everything like that. But it's like, so you're the one. Are you? Is that you? No, that's Aaron, Mom. That's a boy. So the Attack on Titan Abridged actually really helped because I was like, I'm that one. She's like, oh, well, if you would just show me these beforehand. It's actually very funny. I feel like this is more your speed. I'm like, I'm not in this, Mom. And she's like, well, I think you probably should be. I love you, Rick.
That's awesome. My parents, it's the same. They don't know anything about the show, and I'm saying to them, you guys, if you're going to record the show, you have to watch it from the beginning. You can't, and they're only interested in seeing Annie. They're only interested in seeing their daughter's character. So I'm just like, no, you can't. It doesn't work that way with the show. You got to see it from the very, very beginning, because otherwise you're going to be lost.
Yeah.
So.
It doesn't slow down.
Yes.
Yeah, my parents have not yet seen the show, but I remember long ago when I first got into anime, I was in high school, and my mom's only real knowledge of anime was like tentacle hentai and bad stuff. That's what she knew about it. So that was, she's like, oh, it's some Japanese cartoons. That's a bunch of bad porn stuff. So me and a bunch of friends were watching. I think it was Dirty Pair, and that's like, it's fine. She's like, you're not allowed to watch this. She takes it from me and goes, I'm gonna go watch this first, make sure it's okay. And I was like, all right, go ahead. About an hour later, she comes down. That was actually pretty good. There you go. And it was fine after that. And then I started working in it. She's like, it's fine. Yeah, there was that brief moment of like just judgment without really knowing. And then once she had seen a few and got the feel for it, she was like, oh, it's actually pretty cool. Okay.
My dad is a like for real traditional cowboy. So yeah, explaining anime or getting him to really get into anime has been an uphill battle ever since I was a kid. This is the first show that he's ever actually really gotten into and has been excited to see every week. So he's been watching every episode every week on Toonami as it's been hitting and just been loving it. So
that's way better than my parents.
Yeah.
So good job on your dad.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I kind of envision your dad like Mike McFarlane's version of a Texan Japanese character. Like, no more arigato.
Mr. Roboto.
Awesome. All right, let's take another question. Yes, the Armin in the front row.
Hey!
Hey.
My question for you guys is, if your characters had alter egos, what do you think they would be like?
Oh. If our characters had alter egos, what do we think they would be like?
Like, as in...
Like if they're superheroes at night.
Oh,
Is that kind of what you meant?
they're normal people.
Or anything else, like a modern day alter ego?
I think that'd be terrifying as Annie having an alter ego.
Oh,
because... I don't know. You got an answer?
Not at the moment.
No. Mikasa?
Well, alter egos in general, right? They have to be completely opposite. That's alter. So, so Mikasa is like super reserved and super tough, and like just a hardcore mamma jamma bad down. She's really great. So I guess it would have to be somebody that like doesn't like is rather outgoing. Somebody that's outgoing and somebody that's like actually really wimpy, but like and probably somebody me. Yeah, that would be me, because I'm not gonna fight anybody. Like if somebody was like, "Let's fight," I'd be like, "I have a funny joke though." I would be horrible at a confrontation. And I'm not really reserved, and I also don't kill titans. So
Really?
yeah, that'd be me. It's me, or maybe Mikasa's my alter ego.
Oh, you know what? That's a really good answer. That's a really good answer because like Trina, I'm very outgoing. I'm not, I mean, there are days where I'm reserved, but that's if I'm in a really bad mood or something. But yeah, like Trina, I'm exactly the same way. I'm very outgoing, not a fighter. So, yeah, Annie would probably be the opposite of me, which, you know, and I wasn't kidding. Mikasa is probably, you know, I've seen a bunch of anime shows. Mikasa is probably one of the most powerful female lead characters in an anime show that I've seen in a long, long time. And she is incredibly inspiring, by the way. So, and Trina, you freaking rock that role, man.
Oh, guys,
You
stop.
rock it.
Just stop it. Just stop it.
I think Armin, his alter ego, would essentially be Aaron.
Right? God.
I would agree.
If you're talking about exact opposite, it's pretty much there. Like he would not think everything through. He would not. He would lose the whole inner turmoil that he has of, you know, the self-consciousness and the lack of confidence. He would completely, that would switch over and it would just be ball to the wall Armin all the time. 24/7. They wouldn't have to save him from the thugs at the first episode. They would have come around the corner and those guys would be in a coma.
That is one of my favorite scenes, by the way, because I just love how Aaron's like, oh, I gotta save him. And they're like, it's Aaron. And then Mika says, like, oh my God, it's Mika's crap.
Josh, can you give an impression of that, of your Aaron?
Oh, the what? Say that again?
Can you give your impression of your alter ego?
Oh, if Armin was alter
Yeah.
ego? If we're doing the little kid, then, let's see. Huh, what took you guys so long? I was gonna save one for you.
That's kind of awesome.
That is awesome. Levi?
I mean, on the spot, I'm kind of going with you guys. Like, I'm kind of the opposite of Levi in the sense that I'm very much a diplomat. I tend to try and talk things through. I'm nowhere near that badass. I tend to care too much about what other people think. And when he does not, he just does not give a crap. But yeah, I mean, he's very strong, but I think he does have a sense of emotion for other people and cares people. He just keeps it very hidden and as a militaristic person and as an individual that was raised in that very kind of thuggish atmosphere. You know, I think he just keeps that very, very closely guarded. As far as an alter ego, I mean, if we were to go full opposite, probably like a garbage man.
I was like, where's he going to go with this? Garbage man.
Because that is the antithesis of everything he stands for.
Yes.
Mr. Josh, pick somebody.
In the back.
What?
Yes, Titan!
Oh, God!
What kind of anime got you into anime in the first place?
Nice.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good question.
That's a really good question. I really enjoyed, actually, one of my favorites still to this day is The Slayers. It's still one of my all-time favorite. I love any sort of sword and sorcery fantasy. It's that comedy and stuff like that's always been really fun. But yeah, Slayers, DBZ, Sailor Moon,
Yeah.
all the old like the late '90s, early 2000s Toonami block was pretty much where I really got into anime. So
I would say the same. Yeah. It's funny because Matt was talking about how a long time ago, when you would say the word anime, people would be like, "Oh, that stuff's weird. No, tentacles. No. I wish I was joking, but I'm serious. People immediately had thought that La Blue Girl was the antithesis of all anime because it was so popular.
Like even 10 years ago, you'd say, yeah, cosplay. They'd be like, oh, that's that weird fetish thing, right?
Yeah.
That's completely changed now.
No, those are furries. No.
Well, no, that's also a fan base.
It's also cosplay.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. But I totally forgot where I was going with this. Either way, yes, one of my favorite anime shows was Bastard. Does anybody remember Bastard? Yeah, that was a great show. Very adult, but not a hentai or anything. But it was a fantastic story, fantastic characters, and it has some of my favorite favorite voice actors in that. You know, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, Steve Bloom, Darren Norris. So many awesome people. So definitely. And Sailor Moon. Dragon Ball Z, I was a huge Dragon Ball Z nerd. And I saw Battle of the Gods way too many times. So good, and so good. If you guys have not seen it, you can pre-order it. It's awesome. So good. Sorry, it's just so good. Anyway, continuing on.
Well, if I want to be like super legit about the first anime that really got me into the genre would be Unico. When I was very young, old school, tiny little unicorn character with red hair and a little horn. It's beautiful, yeah. And I watched that when I was very young. I didn't even know what anime was, but I was like, what is this style, you know? And went there to like Kimbo the White Lion when I was very young. And then years later, got really into it through Dragon Ball Z. But of course, my introduction to it was through my friend Ian, who was Korean, and so he would get it in Japanese with Korean subtitles.
Ian was Korean?
I know. It was in Japanese with Korean subtitles, so we watch it, and then I'd be like, that was cool, what happened? And then he'd give me the actual story after the fact. I'm like, oh, okay, that all makes much more sense now, let's watch the next one. So I watched most of it not knowing what was going on. To be fair, most of it was just them yelling anyway, so it wasn't too hard to follow. But I loved it, so that was kind of my major introduction to it.
That's really
So my brother has been a huge anime fan like our whole life. He's always been like, oh, I love anime, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're so weird. I don't understand you. Why don't you want to do the things that I want to do? Let's go put on a play. He was like, what is wrong with you? So I got into anime because of a boy. There was this dude in college, and he was like, oh yeah, like I really love Cowboy Bebop. I was like, oh, me too, all the time, all day, every day. I love it. And back then, there was this place called Blockbuster.
I worked at Blockbuster.
So I went to Blockbuster, and I was like, hi, I need something called Cowboy Bebop, and I need all of it. So I went home and like marathoned it, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then I liked the guy even more, and then so Cowboy Bebop was like my introduction, and I adored it. I loved the story and the characters and everything. And then like I was talking to him like on date 2 or something. I was like, yeah, I thought you were a total nerd. And then I watched it and I realized I'm a nerd too. So it's cool. And he's like, well, if you like that, then you're gonna love Samurai Champloo. And I was like, Samurai, God bless you? Like, what do you think? And he was like, no, you have to see it. And so we like marathoned it, and I've been hooked ever since. Started because of a boy. We're still friends. He's just not the one. You know what I mean? But he's great. He's super great. Hi, Casey. Shout out to... It doesn't matter. They can't all be cool. Moving on.
Mr. Matt.
Question. The next question, please. You raised your hand in the back there. Yes, you. Pointing at you with the camera.